Hello.
How are you, Schmier? How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm Albert, and I'm doing this interview for Metal Hammer magazine and website and all this kind of stuff that exists today, social media, YouTubes, and all these kind of things.
All right.
Last time we talked, it was for 2020 for Born to Thrust promo, just with the effects of COVID still everywhere. And I remember one of the things, especially that you said me that day. You said musical industry will be the most compromised sector after prostitution. Do you think it
Yeah.
really do you think it really happened?
Oh, yeah, it did. It did, so many people left the industry, you know. Um, Now the bus companies have no more bus drivers. There's not enough roadies and sound engineers and people working in the music business, So it was really difficult because a lot of people left and got a normal job because for 2 years, no money. Most people are family fathers and they had to make a money. So now they're working for some companies doing a normal job and they say, I'm not coming back because, I have to feed my family. So on one side was the technicians that were in trouble and the companies, like big companies that had like PA system, light systems and bus companies were also affected. There's not enough bus drivers, so now the tour buses are twice as expensive as before, because
Yeah.
now they have to, get the bus drivers from all over the world and fly them in, and they have to pay them much more money also to make the job because there's not enough truck drivers and not enough bus drivers, and we need both. The truck drivers we need for the, for the whole transport in Europe, and the bus drivers we also need for the transport of people and the bands. And so it's a problem that certain jobs are dying out because of COVID. Also, a lot of clubs closed down. I don't know how it is in Spain, but in Germany, a lot of places closed down during the pandemic. So there's less clubs to play nowadays. And so there was an impact, but also, we love what we do. A lot of people still came back with the music business, and after COVID, last year was a good year for music business again, I think, and hopefully this year will continue. But it was tough to swallow those 2 years, and now you have to ask the prostitution ladies how it was for them. But I think they could work better than we could work in those 2 years.
It's a kind of paradox because I remember everybody saying during the pandemic, we will be better persons, better as a human beings. And you see this world today is what is happening. It's full of shit like
Yeah,
never.
it made everything worse because it was the time of divide and conquer. Divide the world, divide the
Mm.
humans, and of course the rich people want us to be fighting each other so we don't fight the rich. What's
Yeah.
going on? What's going on in America right now? That all the super billionaires are now the new government of America is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because those guys won't be there for the small people and for the poor people. They will just make themselves richer. And yeah, I guess COVID was a good chance, to divide humans about the vaccination, about opinions, and now, of course, if you look around the world, there's so much right-winged parties, so much Nazi parties getting in positions where they shouldn't be. Even in Germany, we also have the same problem that the German government failed in many ways. So now the Nazis are putting pressure on the government, And then Elon Musk from America is saying, "Oh, the German Nazis are a great party. I
Yeah.
love the German Nazis," and everybody here is like, "Holy fuck, what's going on in the world?" So yeah, it's scary. But we understand that populism always worked. It's if you look at the history of humans, it
Yeah.
always works. The easy language with a mostly national kind of very national pride kind of meanings, always reaches to people.
Let's see what happened in the next months in Germany because I think you have elections in a couple of
Yeah, yeah.
months. Or
Yeah, we have elections, and it's going to be the first time that the Nazis will have a big percentage, but they will not come into office, I guess. But there will be still a big warning. It
yeah,
will be it will be the big warning that is needed for hopefully the other parties to wake up and change their policy. And because I think the danger is that in some years the Nazi party will win the elections if you don't change stuff now. And
I'm
it's still,
afraid so.
for me, what's very scary is that people are pissed off about governments. I know in Spain it's the same as in Germany, and it's the right to be pissed off. I'm pissed off too. Read my lyrics. But to vote for Nazis is never a fucking solution. So uh, people are like, yeah, but they're not really Nazis, and it's not that bad, and also to not realize that this will not be good for anybody is because people are so desperate now. They just want to change. They want to change for no matter what, and then it's gonna be really really bad because we were on a great way to unite the world. European Union was on a good way. Of course, there was a lot of difficulties, but still, the Brexit when the English left was a bad sign, and now all these right wing parties want to put borders again. They want to close the borders again, and for me, it's sad to see because I'm a world citizen. I travel a lot. I don't see myself as just being a German. I see this world needs help, not
Yeah.
just Germany. And now everybody closing the borders again, and it's just us, and we're the only important country in the world. America first, yeah. This is not the right way, but what can you do?
I agree completely because something similar is happening here in Spain. Okay, talking about the music industry, you are Destruction are now in an AFM Records right now, a label that in the last time signed a lot of big names in metal scene, in some way taking the role that in the past had Nuclear Blast. Nuclear Blast, since they have sold to, I think it's a French company.
Yeah, believe.
It's
Yeah, believe.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's not the same. What do you think about this movement in the industry?
yeah. We were one of the first bands that left. When
Yeah.
Believe was sold to Nuclear Blast, sold to Believe. I talked with the CEO of Believe, and I talked with the new CEO of Nuclear Blast, and all my people were gone. And then I was like, okay, let's get the fuck out of here. I was like, this is not Nuclear Blast anymore. What the guys told me, the new philosophy, about the label, oh, it's all digital, digital, digital. And I said, no, I want to still produce vinyl. And I want you to still put some ads in the magazine, in the magazine to read, because this is tradition, this is rock music. People want that, and Believe was like, oh no, no, we changed the way, and everything changed. Nuclear Blast also lost a lot of people. They fired a lot of people. People that were in charge of Destruction there, the promoters, the A&R managers, the product managers. Some get fired. All of a sudden, all the people were gone. So I was like, goodbye. It's time to go. I was lucky enough to have a contract that had option that they didn't fulfill. So I had a little gap in the contract that I could leave immediately. And I don't want to say anything bad about Nuclear Blast because it's been my home base for more than 20 years. It's been a great time, but the label changed too much. The philosophy changed too much. So I was like, let's go. And I'm very happy we did the decision to go to Napalm Records because they are basically overtook the position Nuclear Blast had 20 years ago.
It's curious because a couple of weeks ago I had the chance to talk with Tobias from Aventasia and explain exactly the same as you about Nuclear Blast.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's this is the world today. A big company buys another big company and becomes bigger. That's what Believe did, and Believe then got sold to some investment company. So, and then who's in charge? Then it's just controllers and managers, and no more people that are involved in music business. They don't care about the bands. They just care
Yeah.
about how much money they can make. And that's of course not a good role model for a rock and roll label. And I have to say, Nuclear Blast in the beginning of the 2000s was the best label ever existed. The way they treated the people, the way they treated the bands, also the way they treated the journalists and everything. This was like amazing. And this never happened before in my life. And I'm in the music business for more than 40 years, that a label was this good, because before we had many struggles with labels. So Nuclear Blast really, they set up the bar really high, but also at one point, when the boss leaves, it's a problem. And now Napalm is doing a great job until they get sold to another investor. Who knows? But at the moment, of course, it's the best label for any kind of metal. It doesn't matter what kind of metal you play. Napalm is the name, right? So I'm happy we're here for hopefully for some more albums, and then we see.
Okay. Here we are to talk about this new album, this Birth of Malice. I think um, every Destruction fan will be satisfied with the album, very recognizable musically and lyrically. What's your thoughts and feelings with this new release after, as you said, 40 years of doing music?
Yeah, sometimes like people ask me, aren't you tired of songwriting, or
Yeah.
how do you still have ideas and stuff? But music is a big love, and music is big dedication for me, and I still love to write new music, and we have a very strong lineup together, great musicians. It's like playing in a football team, and you're the old player. I'm the Maradona of my destruction team, but I still love to play football. So it's exciting, and I think this is the way we started writing this new album. We came back from tour, had a lot of great shows, anniversary shows also. It was very inspiring, and then we started writing the album, and the demos were right away a lot of fun to do. So I think as long as you keep the music being joyful and exciting, you can write good music. Also, it has to do that the band is in a good relation with each other, because that helps to write good songs, I think.
Mhm. Talking about songs, listening to the album these last days, I enjoy the most songs like Cyber Warfare, No Kings, No Masters. It's very old school song in my opinion. This one, Scumbag Human Race. One of the most interesting is I don't know exactly how to say this, angst or
Angst,
something
yeah,
like
Angst, yeah,
that
Angst, yeah.
for guitar work and your voice. I think it's in a lower tone as it's
Yeah,
usual.
yeah, yeah. It's lower, yeah, because I get older, so I feel more comfortable in the lower parts now. Meanwhile, it's more, it's my voice is more settled. Also, I still can do the high stuff, but also now the lower stuff is more easy to sing for me. But it's also I feel good there now. And so I think the voice range on the album is bigger than ever. And Angst was a kind of a challenging song because it's different. It's more like grim and groovy.
Mhm.
It's one of the standout tracks on the album. It's not such a typical Destruction banger, and it's a song with a cool message, I think. And for me, yeah, we chose it as a single, as a video. It just came out as a video some days ago, and I
Yeah.
was a little bit afraid that some people might not like it. And of course, some people wrote, "Oh, this is not fast enough," and. But you have to understand that the album in total is still a very fast album. But songs like Angst, they make the album better because there's more variation in the album this way. I think.
I think every Destruction fan can enjoy a lot the album because there's songs like, as I mentioned, No Kings, No Master, but it's very old school song thrash
Yeah, yeah,
metal.
yeah.
And reading the lyrics, there's a lot about what's happening in our society, as we were talking previously. Right now, there's a lot to write about. Just reading the song titles, it's killer.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, song titles are sometimes the most difficult part of the album, because it needs to reflect the vibe of the album, and it needs to reflect the mood of the song also. So when I have a good title, I always write it down. Sometimes on my cell phone, I'm like, okay, I'm just recording it, so I don't forget. So then at the end of the songwriting, I have a list of a lot of ideas that I have to make some cool song titles.
Mhm.
Like like you mentioned scumbag human race, it's like a metaphor how to see the world nowadays. If you would be the world and look at humans, how would you call humanity? Scumbag human
Absolutely.
race.
Absolutely, absolutely. And talking about the sound of the album, it sounds perfectly every instrument in their position. I say it because I always remember Destruction from the first time I discovered the band with this album.
Okay, yeah.
And I always remember the snare sound of this album. I don't know if today it's possible that any producer or maybe yourself live in a drum sound, this sound of this snare, like I don't know.
Yeah, this there. Yeah.
Yeah,
We Ollie, our drummer, he had this background of jazz music. So he tuned his snare drum pretty high.
yeah,
And when we were in the studio mixing the album, I said to the producer and to the mixing engineer, this reminds me of Alex Van Halen, this rim shot, high tone snare.
yeah.
And then we kind of worked on the snare drum a little bit to make it very unique. And we put a little delay and a little effect on it, and then we were like, wow, this sounds good. But it's the background that Ollie tuned the snare very high and he played rim shots, and this way, yeah, it made a very unique sound.
It's one of the main points of Destruction that during all your career, every I don't know if it's 2 or 3 albums more or less, you release a live album. I guess that you
Yeah.
enjoy to release an album because I think it's a good picture of a band in a certain period of time.
Oh yeah, I've been growing up with live albums, Live After Death,
Yeah,
or Exit Stage Live from Rush, or of course Unleashed in the East. All those albums are part of my youth, and now that we have a long career, after some years, I always love to make a live album because it reflects the band, it reflects the lineup, it reflects the time also. But now, actually, live albums are out of fashion. So
yeah.
people have to be aware that there might be no more live albums coming out in the next years. It's going to be very difficult to release live albums because record labels, they don't want live albums anymore because they're not selling so well also. So the time of live albums is over, basically.
Mhm. You have a new member, new guitarist. What can you explain about this change?
I mean, it's already the second album now, right? The Diabolical already had Martin
Mhm.
on the guitar. He used to be our sound engineer and our tour manager. And when we were looking for a second guitar player again, we kind of asked him to jump in and help out, and it worked really good because he's a part of the family since many years, and he's also producer, and that's why he was involved now also in the production of the album. He was producing with me, and he was also mixing the record, which was very good to have somebody very close from the band with me working on the whole setup of everything. So that was an interesting move. He kind of mixed one song for last summer. No Kings, No Masters came out as a first single, and that was kind of the test if it works. And then we did the whole album with him, and yeah, it was a very productive way working with somebody in the band that is close to everything is also a different perspective, because he wants it to be good. He wants it to be. It's not just all about the money. It's about the final result has to be satisfying for everybody.
Mhm. And talking about band members, I know Well, the other guitarist Damir, because I consider him because I know him when play here in my city with the Burning
Burning
Witches.
Witches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
couple of years ago when the band are starting with the first and the second records, they play here in my city in 1 year three times, and I think it became an important member in Destruction right now.
Yeah, of course, he's a fantastic guitar player. He's a typical shredder, and he lives for his playing. He lives for the guitars. So with the songwriting, we were working very close on the songs. I wrote all the songs, but he helped me with a lot of the recordings and the details and the harmonies and the shreddings and the accents and stuff. Because he's a fantastic guitar player. And so it's always a pleasure to work with him in the studio because I tell him I want doodly 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 bum bum bum, and he's playing it like doodly 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 bum bum bum. He's just like on the money because he's a guitarist from the fucking heart. He can make every note alive that you want. So sometimes when I just tell him I want here and there, I want a wah or a whammy bar, and I singing something in the notes, he just plays it, just very spontaneously. And that's a big gift that he understands the music. He understands the music really good. And I think yeah, there's not so many guitarists in Europe that are on his
And
level.
you have during all these years you have a good relation with the Burning Witches band and all the girls of the band because
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I've been producing a lot of albums and I've been managing them for many years also. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, Looking back as on your career, is there anything you would change about how Destruction navigated the industry, for example, or what has been a bad decision for the band that you realized over the years that maybe it's not the best decision in that time?
Yeah, I mean, bad decisions sometimes lead to difficult times, but then you learn from difficult times and you make better decisions next time. So I think after all, even though there was some struggling and difficult decisions and maybe stuff I wouldn't do again, but the learning from those moments, they made me who I am now. So I think I can be very satisfied with everything that happened. Even during the difficult times during COVID and everything, when we had lineup changes and left Nuclear Blast, it was a lot of difficult decisions. But after all, it was everything was for the better. So I'm always looking at now to create a future and not looking back. So I'm not like the kind of guy that says, oh, 1985 we should have signed with a different label, blah blah blah, or a different manager. I don't see it that way. I think it all comes together at the end, and we have a great new album out. We're in the business for 42 years. We have a lot of fans worldwide. So I wouldn't change a thing. I think I'm 100% happy the way it is. Even I get fired from the band. Even that was bad. I learned from it. We learned from it. It brought us back together stronger than ever. So that's the way
Okay.
life goes.
I would like to ask about the 40th anniversary tour because you played in 2023 with a Catalan thrash band called
Oh yeah,
Crazics.
yeah,
They
fantastic guy.
they they are very loved band here. What about this experience with this young band?
Oh, yeah, they're a great band. They're also hardworking touring band, great live band, great musicians, great guys. It was great fun bringing them on tour. I heard they do a break right now. Are they on a break? What's
Yes,
happening?
correct. It's
Baby break or what?
it's a break, undefinite. No, it's not a break, a definitive break. Just stopping the activity during maybe 1 year, 2 years. They
Oh,
don't say anything more.
oh. It sounds. It doesn't sound good. That's too bad because they've been really, they would deserve to be a next step up. They would deserve to be bigger because they've been working so hard. They're a great musician, fantastic live band, and but I know how difficult it is for young men to make money in this business, for to survive in this business. So I totally understand that at one point you're just fed up. You want to try something else. I need a break now. I totally understand where they are now. I just hope they come back and
I
they
think,
will continue. The problem is in 2 years,
yeah,
you can lose a lot of fans and recognition.
they work a lot and very hard to become a great band and a professional band. And I don't know, I think maybe some of the members are nearly to burn out about this all
Yeah,
this
yeah.
crazy music world.
Yeah, they've been touring a lot and stuff. And also you have to understand when you tour so close as a band together, also it's not healthy. At the end, you need your own space, your own privacy, your own life at one point also. So yeah, hopefully I'm crossing my fingers that they will come back stronger from the little break and that the break won't be too long, huh?
Yeah. And talking about touring, I hope you're thinking in touring, presenting these new songs. Can we expect some dates in Spain? Because I say it because right now in in the last couple of years, it's very difficult that tours
Yeah.
are coming to Spain. I don't know if it's promoters or I don't know
It's
what's
it's
happening.
it's the promoters, yeah. The promoters need to understand that when the band come to Spain, for the band, we need to pass France. It's a long way to Spain. Spain is the end of Europe. So to drive down to Spain and Portugal, it's a lot of driving in the bus, and then the promoters have to pay. They have
Yeah.
to pay for the drive. They have to pay for the gas, and some of the Spanish promoters say, "Oh, we don't want to pay more money." So all the bands are like, "Okay, then we don't come." That's easy as that. And we've been trying really hard on the last tour to come to Spain and didn't work out. So I hope it's going to happen this time. I mean, I told my agent already that we really want to return to Spain, but the promoters have to understand that they need to pay for it, because everything was more expensive now. The traveling is more expensive, the crew is more expensive, the bus driver is more expensive, everything's more expensive. So we all need to invest more money into shows, and there was a problem that I heard from many bands also, and from my agency also, that Spanish promoters, they didn't want to pay for the new costs that are there. So we
But
everybody wants to come.
it's curious because I think it's not for the response of the fans because fans are going to the shows.
The fans are great. Spanish fans are amazing, and we all know. But we need an organizer that brings the bands. And if you don't want to pay the bands the money they need to come to travel a long way to Spain, then of course it's a problem. So hopefully the promoters this year will wake up and bring more bands to Spain, because the fans deserve shows, right? So
I don't know if it's the same or you have this feeling in Germany or in Europe because I think the promoters here are only thinking in festivals, festivals and
yeah, yeah,
festivals.
because
Only big.
it's where the big money is. The festivals is the big money. And of course, the festivals are established now, and there's going to be 20,000 people, so they can calculate also, with the single shows. It's the problem that the pre-sales are bad. Nowadays people don't buy so much tickets anymore for single shows. So it's kind of a pre-sale problem. And then the promoters are getting cold feet and they're backing out and like, okay, I'm not doing single shows anymore. I concentrate on the festivals because that's a safe space.
Okay, Ismail, thanks for your time because I'm sure you have more interviews this afternoon.
Yeah, I got a lot tonight. So okay.
Okay,
I
thanks for your time. Hope to see you playing here again.
hope, yeah,
And
we really tell the fans Destruction wants to come back badly, and tell the promoters to bring us. So we really want to come back 2025 to Spain. All
thanks
right.
for your time,
Thank you.
Ismail.
Thank you. Thank you. Always good talking to you. Have a good night.
And big hello to Damir and the band.
I see him tomorrow. I will say. I will give him the best regards.
Okay,
Okay. Bye bye.
perfect. Bye bye.